Good morning. Good morning, donut heads. Good morning. Dare you to take a bite of that donut. Good morning. Good morning, kids. Gosh, it's neat to see the same people here all the time. And then some new people joining. And no, it really is. It's great. Don't you look forward to each other a little bit? It's like I can't wait to see Jolie. Lenny Ladrand. There's my girl Car. See those? I get excited to see my friends in the morning. I'm not joking. Al, I'm not joking. You're one of them. You're one of the guys. I'm like, oh, big Al's there. Good morning. Give me 5 people that agree with me. It's fun to see your friends in the morning. Right, Grady? It sets it off just perfect. And then when you don't have tea, it's like, I really wish I had tea. Right, Nerdy? Nerdy admits it. It just gets you going right, Kyle? Hemp Toad says, ribbit, it's a good start. Good morning. This came, I believe Nerdy sent that to me. Did you send that? Cobalt's like, it gets me the hell out of bed, Pops. Well, that's a good thing. Nerdy sent this. I thought so, big fella. This is great. This is going to become a trademark to the show. This is a trademark. I freaking love my donut. Look at the donut, you guys. Cuckoo! We'll never forget 2023, will we? That's not a sprinkled donut, Derek. It's a sprinkled donut. Sprinkled. Ask Car. She's here. Car, how do you say it? Are those sprinkles or sprinkles? Help me out here. See, Cobalt knows. But we have to ask Car. She's the official. Since Amanda's not here. Are they sprinkles or sprankles? There, Carlotta just set the word down. Those are sprinkles. Caw-caw! Cacaw's one of the funniest things we did in 2023, huh? 2023 was filled with cacaws. What's this fella? What's this guy right here? Did we catch him at the perfect time? The veil's just breaking. Huh? What's going on with this guy? Squat. That's a squat. Looks like a tree stump, huh? I bet you there's a lot of people curious about what that will be. There's a lot of people curious. There's a lot of people curious. Bet you wonder what that is. Let's take a look. Why, it doesn't weigh anything at all. SSW doesn't weigh anything at all. What's going on with that? It doesn't weigh a single thing? Wow. Well, we'll just have to get back to that. Doesn't weigh a thing. I don't know why you guys are doing all that guessing. Nobody said zero yet. How come nobody has said zero yet? Just put it on the scale and showed it to you, Kim. And nobody's even guessing the right weight. That's all right. We're going to give that away at the end of today's show. That little stump. Stumpy McStumperton. Instead of getting your names on the wheel today, I'm going to get 3 people qualified for a spin win at the end of today's show. And Stumpy's going to go out today. Bye-bye, Stumpy. Get out of here. Matter of fact, let's get a qualifier right now. First 3 people. Here we go. We're doing Trivia Pursuit this week. Okay? We're doing Trivia Pursuit this week. So, I'm going to read 4 statements. 2 of them will not be correct. 1, 2, 3, or 4. The first 3 people on my screen to tell me which 2 statements are incorrect will move forward. All you have to do is put the number of the incorrect statement on your line. For example, if 1 and 4 were incorrect, you'll just put a 1 and a 4 on your line. So here we go. I'm going to read 4 statements, 2 of which are incorrect. Statement 1. In the solar system, you can find the Sea of Cleverness, the Marsh of Decay, and the Lake of Fear on Mars. Number 2. Brad Pitt's character in the movie Snatch is speaking gypsy. Number 3. The footwear hecklers mocked in 2004 that John Kerry was wearing were flip-flops. Number 4. A 1996 fictional diary, including this heroine's cigarette, alcohol, and calorie consumption, was called Bridget Jones' Diary. Go. Which 2 statements were not true? Go. Which 2 statements were not true? Okay, I've got 1 person, 2 people. I'm still looking. Which 2 statements were not true out of the 4? Cleanie's very close. Can't believe you still remember that, Cleanie. We haven't done alternators since August. I'm still looking for, I only have 2 correct answers so far. I only have 2 smarty pantses in the group. So far, only 2 smarty pantses have it correct. Okay? I only have 2 smarty pantses. I'm just going to stick with the 2. All right? I'm going to tell you who they are. I'm going to kill it now. 2 smarty pantses got it correct. Let me read you the answers, and then I'll tell you who the 2 smarty pantsers were. Okay? But it's killed now. Statement number 1 was not correct. Sea of Cleverness, Marsh of Decay, and Lake of Fear are found on the moon, not on Mars. And number 2, the statement number 2, I got you all on that one. That Brad Pitt's character in the movie Snatch, I said he was speaking gypsy. That is not true. He was speaking English, but with an impenetrable accent, which makes it a running joke throughout the film. So, it sounds like Gypsy to me. So I think I got most of you guys on that one. The two people that I saw on my screen that got it correct. Cobalt, I see you saying it now, but I didn't see you before, so I'm not going to count you. I'm sorry. The two people I saw were Shy. Shy Introvert had it. Okay? And Shy, I'm going to make you number 2. And Grady, number 3. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Cobalt. I just didn't see it. I only saw these two, Shy and Grady. Here we go. If it's a 1, we respin. Respin. Okay. Grady. I've moved you forward. You're now in the final spin for today for winning Stumpy. Okay? You can move forward to the stump win, the stump spin. Let's do one more. Let's do one more card since your brains are working. Give me 5 people said, Pops, let's do that one more time. Also, give me at least 10 more likes. Okay, should we do that one again? Or, since your brains are turned on now, you guys are there, right? Let's do one more. Okay? Overtime. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to read 4 statements. 2 will be incorrect. You're going to tell me which 2. Here we go. Only in the state of Alaska can you order Spam at Burger King or McDonald's. Number 1. Number 2, Sharon Glass and Tyne Daly were Cagney and Lacey on the TV show. Number 3, only Herbert Hoover served 2 non-consecutive terms as president. And 4th, the novel Moby Dick shares its name with a coffee company. Go. Which of those 2 were incorrect? Okay. I've got it. Kill it. Shy, you were in that group. You're in the Smarty group. But since you spun that last time, I'm not putting you in this group to spin this time. Sorry, bro. But you were in the top 3. Just so you know for your own brain. Very, very sharp. You're on it this morning. I'm going to read you the answers. And then I'm going to tell you the first 3 on my screen that I saw that had got it correct. Besides Shy. In what state can you order Spam for breakfast? At Burger King and McDonald's? I said it was Alaska. It's Hawaii. So number 1, I lied. 2 was correct. Cagney and Lacey are Sharon Glass and Daly. 3, the only U.S. president to serve non-consecutive terms was Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. I lied when I told you it was Herbert Hoover. So 1 and 3 were the right answer. Moby Dick is a coffee company. So the 3 people that I saw correct on my screen first, Ace. Ace Buckeye. Ace Buckeye, you're number 1. Laura, you're a divine number 2. Laura, you're going to be divinely number 2. And then Pilar. Pilar, here you go. You're number 3. Pilar, you're a 3rd spotter. Here we go. That's looking Pilar to me. So Pilar and Grady are moving forward to today's final spin to win Stumpy. Okay? You guys are in line to be stumped. Let's get stumped. So, we'll do another one of those here in a few minutes. If people are enjoying it, are we having fun? You spin me round, baby, baby. That's a good song, Joshua. It makes me spin when I watch it or listen to it. Are we having fun? I'm having fun playing. It's hard, I'm making those up as I go along, these lies. Like the professional con liar. I'm making them up as I'm reading them. I don't have it practiced. Did you know that, EMT? I'm not practicing. It's not like, oh, and then I'll say. I'm like just making it up as I go along. What? Yep. Flying by the seat of my pants. And yes, Captain Cannabinoid, I'm wearing them. Okay? They happen to be very comfortable pants today. Let's get back to talking about fungi. Okay? Got the EMT. I'm flying by the seat of my pants over here. Okay. Nerdy. That's creepy. Okay. Here we go. Two hawks. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Did you ever wonder, Kim here, she's a physics professor. There's physics. There is physics to the sporulation of fungi. How does it happen? Who wants to know? We're still talking about spores this week. We're doing our own teach it to ourselves mycology class here. We're going to do Mycology 101. We're taking it right from the very start, the spore. And we're going to talk about spores. We're going to understand them pretty good. And then we're going to move to the next thing here. I'll tell you what. Oh, I know what I needed to do. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Very quickly. Spits and corpers. Mostly because I just like to say it. Yeah. But we were talking yesterday, we've got a plate. And in order for our mushrooms to find new food, our fungus to find new food, it needs to move. And one of the ways it moves is by branching off and finding new sources of moisture and food in the cases of agar sugars and things like that we've put into the agar mix. But the process, that little web of, let me give you a nice picture here. If I can find one. When you take the little, at the very ends of the rope ends, these are pretty well developed plates. It'd be better if I showed you one that wasn't so developed and you were just seeing the ropes. But at the very end of the rope ends of the mycelium network, we have little active things. There's little parts of the mycelium network that are shooting out and finding its furthest leading edge of food available. Okay? That to me, here we go, is one of my most fascinating things in mycology. Here we go. The exact mechanism behind this tip building process is one of the most inexplicable aspects of mycelial growth. Unexplainable. It's just mind-boggling. Okay? We're in, good morning, whiskey. I love whiskey. We're in Radical Mycology, our book, Radical Mycology, by Peter McCoy. Many aspects of this book are fantastic. Follow with me on page 15 if you have it. The exact mechanism behind the tip building of that mycelial network is a natural mystery. Most theories on the apical extension assume that the tip is dissolved and then it's rebuilt by compounds in dozens of small bubbles or vesicles that congregate at the end of the apex. So you got this little whole microscopic bubbly thing going at the end of those tips as it's searching out for more. That's the most common thought. While this may be true to a degree, it does not explain other strange phenomena that occur at the tip. Don't be nasty. I don't want to hear about tip jokes right now or any of that stuff, okay? Let's stay away from that. Let's talk about, let's be serious mycologists for right now, okay? Because I can see where we could go with this. Let's not. There are many strange things that happen. Now, without being the dirty birdies that we can be, how many people want to know more about this? Should I continue this? All right, there you guys go. Come on, reel it back in. Gentlemen and ladies, this is mycology, like fascinating nature. Okay, we have time to do jokes later. All right, let's keep it straight, and I mean that, because this is a very interesting stuff about the tips of the Hyphal. Okay, here we go. Unlike what would be assumed for other eukaryotes, the growth vesicles do not arrive at the apex, at the very tip. The little vesicles, the little bubbly fellas, do not arrive at the apex, at the tip of the Hyphal, the tip of the rope. They don't arrive there from a compound. Rather, they travel there on microtubulars. Teeny, inside that rope are little tubes. I picture going to the bank. You know when you go to the bank and you do a drive-through? And you put the vacuum tube, you put your deposit tube in the thing and ends up in the teller's thing. Do you remember that? This is what it's like. But inside of that little tube, inside of the Hyphal rope, are a bunch of those. Like tons of those. And through those tubes, that little canister, that's what's going to be shooting a vesicle. The vesicles are shooting through these tons of little ropes, and that's inside of it already a pretty microscopic rope. So you have all kinds of shooting in there out to the tip, which is creating the little vesicle pool at the end of the tip. Here comes another vesicle. Here it comes. What's shooting them is called Spitzenkorper. I'm going to spell that for you. Spitz, just like you think it's German. Spitz. N-E-N, and then Korper, K-O-R-P-E-R. Spitzenkorper. These microtubes to an organic, they're called Spitzenkorpers. And they actually are so naturally tuned that they sort out which vesicle they're going to drop at the tip. This one drops this one drops, this one drops, this one. And it slowly, as the vesicle, as the little bubble pools there that it's shooting out there, slowly is eating the food and moving forward. And as it's moving forward, there's another Spitzenkorper in there saying, hey, what if I go to the left? Let me shoot one out this way. And let me shoot one out that way. And you got Spitzenkorpers in there. I picture a German guy on top of a machine, on top of a tank. I'm Corporal Spitzenkorper. And he's shooting the vesicles out. And slowly our mycelium network is moving. The Spitzenkorper is the true architect of the Hyphal. That's the real guy in charge. Corporal Spitzenkorper, reporting for duty, sir. They take thousands of vesicles per minute, rapidly sort it, process it, and then spray each vesicle to the tip interior along these thin filaments. They don't stop either. It's not like they take, okay, it's a time for a meal break. Look at your plates. How fast do they grow? Our plates here, man, they're completely colonized within 14 days. Spitzenkorper's reporting for duty, sir. This is not random. It's not a random shower. It occurs like that occurs with the paint sprayer. So he's not, even though I'm telling you Spitzenkorper, Corporal Spitzenkorper's up there going, he's not randomly spraying. He's not being a paint sprayer. Spitzenkorper is a controlled act that precisely places each vesicle evenly across 4 dimensions of Hyphal at a time. They're expert marksmen. Ting, 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 ting. All right, I'm going to go back. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, we're going to another round. 2, 2, 2. 4 at a time. Equal. How do they know that? Who's counting? What a boring job. I'm watching vesicles through a microscope and I'm seeing 4 bubbles appear at a time. How's that working? The rate of the process is staggering. Spitzenkorper shoots faster than you or I ever could think we could. Spitzenkorper sends 600 vesicles to its apex every second. Meaning 3,600 vesicles, the little canisters, the little bubbles are coming through the vacuum tube. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect unity. Hits them on the mark. Spitzenkorper's back in there firing away. 3,600 times a minute and he's hitting the mark. 3,600 a minute. And we wonder why. This sure seems to grow fast. This is not a constant process. This is neat. Give me 5 people who want me to keep going. This is neat. There's a little more to tell you. This is neat. Man, if we ever do a movie, you guys could just call me Corporal Spitzenkorper. Captain Spitzenkorper. It's not a constant process. There's a pulse to it that's familiar to veins and arteries. And it's demonstrated across a species of fungi. Really? That makes more sense. Spitzenkorper is going to get pretty tired if he doesn't get a beat break, right? But it's like it's almost like a pulse. Okay, Spitzenkorper reporting for duty. I got a minute, sir. Oh, yeah, take a break. I'm back. There's a pulse to it. They go on to name a bunch of different mushrooms in their pulses. Some of them pulse up to 13 to 14 pulses per minute. And the slower fungus do about 2.7 pulses per minute. As the hypha extends rope, as the rope is extending, it also branches 3-dimensionally. This branching occurs when a satellite Spitzenkorper separates from the main Spitzenkorper. Goes, sir, I think I should run a special mission duty. Sir, mini Spitzenkorper reporting for duty. I think I should run a satellite Spitzenkorper duty. Let me head that way, sir. Okay, mission granted. Satellite Spitzenkorper reporting for duty, sir. I'm going to take it in the opposite direction, sir. Now it's starting to branch 3-dimensionally on your plate. They migrate backwards, and at some distance, they might even turn back. Some of these satellites, they get lost on their mission. They're like, I know I was heading east, but all of a sudden I'm going north. When he gets further away from the command center, he just gets a little bit more crazy on his path. Hypha then dissolves some of their existing walls. I got a rope, existing wall. I'm going to dissolve some of my existing wall and send another hypha off. Spitzenkorpers reporting for duty. We're taking off in that direction, sir. Whenever 2 hypha from the same network encounter each other. Hey, Ropey, how you doing, Dopey? They're on the same plate together. Hey! I see you over there. Whenever they encounter each other, their respective Spitzenkorpers gather along the hypha tips and seamlessly dissolve into each other and create a new mycelial hypha. Let's go party at the top of our hypha rope. Let's shoot out a bunch of vesicles. Now we're double the vesicle pool here. And guess what we gotta do? We gotta take off in new directions. And that's why we see all the whining and hold on. All the whining and branching This guy here, he was a big old vessel. He was a big old rope. Boop, Spitz and Corper, I want to go off in this direction, sir. And then he got to here and he went off in that direction. And then he got to here and it was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to turn around. I'm heading back. Okay. It's fascinating. Fascinating, especially when you can put it in terms we can understand. These mycelial paths will join into one. They can create bridges between branches in the network. So the Spitzenkorper, at the end of the day, is not just a builder, but he's a destroyer. See, that's nature. Their cycle is in nature. He's in there building, breaking down, and building more. Spitzenkorper is also a captain and a navigator. What it builds, it can also take away. All told, the structure of the Spitzenkorper is perhaps the most compelling feature. During Hyphal growth, the Spitzenkorper takes in and sorts vesicles from outside itself, potentially modifying and exchanging them in the process before precisely placing them vesicles back in the 3D space of the Hyphal apex in response to its environmental signals. How exactly a cloud of undefined chemicals manages this incredibly complex process is not known. We don't understand. We're still putting words to it. It's vesicle, it's a Spitzenkorper. We're studying it. There's pulses, how does it do this? I love my mushrooms. The more I learn about my mushrooms, the more I respect them. I don't want to take advantage of them. That's not what they were made for. So we'll talk about some more stuff tomorrow. Okay, we'll do a little bit more Mycology 101. We'll finish up that's Spitzenkorpers and how they're moving along the plate, how our ropes and mycelium's developing. We're going to get back to tomorrow, just how the physics of the sporulation of a spore and how it takes, and I'm doing my own study before I talk here, it takes water. There's water and the spore. The spore by itself won't sporulate. But there's a physical reaction, we're going to discuss it, where water droplets, which really makes sense, are involved. And when there's a certain reaction between a water droplet and a spore, that's when it's going to actually physically sporulate. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. It's pretty fascinating stuff too. Not as fascinating as Corporal Spitzenkorper, but I love when we get a chance to talk about the old corporal, because literally plates are one of my favorite things to this day. It just turned me on. I just freaking love plates, and I love every day. Like, oh, how much did it grow today? And one of these days, I'll have to still do it. I want to set up a time-lapse camera where, like a 14-day lapse, and just watch that plate, and maybe in 3 minutes, just, right? So one of these days, we're going to try that. I've looked into time-lapse cameras and stuff, and that's a whole nother hobby, too. Now I have to become a photographer and all that. It would be fun if you found somebody that really was into photography and did time-lapse stuff, gave them a plate, and said, let's do I know, Higgs, we could write a book on it. But would that be cool to do a time-lapse of a colonizing plate and watch Spitzenkorpers in there going to work? Let's get into our our Four Agreements book for about 20 minutes. We're well on time here today because I didn't spend a whole bunch of time talking about myself this morning, thank goodness. Okay, but you can take a picture every day. Yeah, I've done that, David. It's still not as fun though. It's not as fun. I literally SSW do that. I mean, I would send a plate to somebody if they were willing to take pictures of it. You know what I mean? I would do that. We could work on that. Oh, speaking of, have we seen, I'm sorry, is Nifra Mama here this morning? I apologize. Is Nifra Mama here this morning? There's my girl. Okay, I had written to Nifra last night, realizing that this is a pretty big month for birthdays, and I haven't been paying attention to anybody. Like I'm just going to jealously do a birthday week all of my own. I want to do it different this month. We'll see what happens for next month, so I'm not going to make any guarantees. Don't look for Pops to make any guarantees. I was just feeling last night that if you have a birthday in January, even if it's already come and gone, if you have a birthday in January, I want you to reach out to Nifra Mama, figure out how, it won't be that hard for you to do, and get her your address. I want your address. Okay? So if you had a birthday in January or have one coming up, a birthday, I'm going to send you a little something from the Detroit Mush Lab. A little birthday present. Nothing major. Just a nice little birthday present. Okay? Mr. Marmar's just was yesterday and it wasn't fun. Well, let's try to make it fun. Get your contact information and get it to her within the next 24 to 48 hours. Don't drag it out. If you don't get it to her by, let's say, the end of the week, I'm not going to send you anything. But you get her your address in the next day or two, she's going to send me a list, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make up a bunch of Christmas boxes and send them out. And I think it's really nice of Niffer to take on the social secretary of this. Okay? So, you guys know what to do. Don't send me your address. I mean this. Send it to Niffer, because she's going to compile the January birthday list for me. She's going to send that to me, make it easy. I don't have to look for stuff. I'll just get a list from Niffy. And Niffy, you guys work it out. Get Niffy your contact information and maybe even your real birth date. If you're not in January, don't try to fake her out. Niffy has ways of figuring that out. That's one of the reasons we asked her to do this. She has magical ways of knowing if it's really your birthday or not. Okay? And then depending on how things work out for the month, we'll decide if we're going to do it again. Okay? But don't try to fake Niffy out. Just be impeccable. Oh, there we go. Okay, impeccable. We're going to get into our book, page 26. We're still in the first agreement. We will be for the next few days. We're trying to define, understand what impeccability is, and that we understand that the way we exercise impeccability is with the power of our word. Words freak me out. I shared this with you guys maybe three or 4 weeks ago. Languages freak me out. I truly believe, I truly wish that the whole human race, all of us different spots and cultures and circles, and I wish we all spoke the same language. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and there's a lot of deliberate misunderstanding that happens as a result of not speaking the same language. Because we don't think in language. We think, and this is a hard thing for us to understand, but I have a background, a professor level training in a process called neuro-linguistics programming. It's a big fancy word for saying neural being brain, linguistics, our language, and how we program ourselves with our language, which we do. I'm bad. Chances are you're going to be bad. You know what? I'm a failure. I believe you. You know what? When I did that experiment, it didn't come out the way I wanted, but I sure learned a lot. I now have feedback for my next experiment. There's 2 different ways my brain heard failure. I try not even to use the word. Just the word alone has connotations that I was taught since childhood. Just the word alone. I try not to call someone or myself fat. That's just a bad word. Has so many connotations. And for me personally, quite a few. I might have shared this with someone before. I have the most beautiful mother in the whole world. Just an incredibly, just soul on out beautiful. My mom was, as we were growing up, fat. My friends told me, your mom's fat. I didn't know that. My dad used to say she's just more heat in the winter and more shade in the summer. I love I love her the way she is. My dad never said any such thing like that. My mom wore the label for the rest of her life. My mom, for the 30, 40 years, was in Overeaters Anonymous. She was in Weight Watchers. My mom was not fat. She wasn't. She was a bigger woman. And you're talking in the 70s. Today, it's normal to be a very, very large BMI. But just that term is a term that I personally phase out of my vocabulary. When I hear somebody use the word, I recreate it in my brain. If I get a chance in a calm and nice way, I'll tell them, you know what, there's a better word you could be, a different phrase you could use to replace that word, and you'll grow from it. The people that sit around and tell you that they're depressed, I'm depressed. I believe them. They told me. They're creating it with their own word. They even have a term for it. They're calling it depressed. I'm going to be mean right now. This is how I really feel. Because I've been Mr. Depressed. You know what 90% of my depression was if I'd used a different word? I'm lazy right now. I'm lazy. I don't feel like it. Now, there's clinical, there's times it's medical. I know it because I have a bipolar situation. Never been diagnosed, self-diagnosed. I can feel my waves come and go. So sometimes I'm like, this is definitely going to be one of my cycles. But 90% of it is bullshit that we've taught ourselves. Terms that we've agreed to with all of their social connotations. So David gets it. There's only one real answer to it for me, and I learned it for me. I do try to share it. Get active. I got to go do something. If not, I can live in that term forever. Who agrees with me? If I'm active, how do you think, can I actually sit here on T for an hour and 15 minutes a day and be depressed? Could I? Can I? I can't. I want to laugh, and I want to love, and I want to learn, and I want to be present. This is an act. The words I'm going to use here aren't going to be words that are going to create for me a cloud. They're going to be words that are going to, for me, be able to create a day of growth. Because I get to create that with my words. The days that I'm missing tea, I'm being lazy. I didn't have to get up and be there at 9 o'clock. Oh, well, you're just taking the day off. It was just, you could have got a lot done. Not guilt, not shame. Don't play the depression game. I can't do it. Because after my mom passed away, 2 years. You could have classified me as clinically depressed. Dr. Spider, you're 100% true. Lazy's fun. We wouldn't do lazy if it wasn't fun. If lazy hurt, if lazy was like painful, ow, I'm being lazy, ouch, oh my, we would stop. Lazy's fun. Lazy feels better. So's depressed. So's depressed. Unless you want to keep lying to yourself. Oh, it's a medical issue. You know what? One microdose and the old folks home, go down there with your banjo and put on a show today. Tell me how depressed you are when you're driving home. Well, it's a medical thing. No, it's not. And I'm not talking to every single person. Please understand. I'm talking to the 90% of us, including me. The other ones probably aren't here to be listening. They're probably actually in a mental hospital getting the help that they seek and deserve. So I'm sensitive. But I'm also somewhat of a drill sergeant. I refuse to give in to my anxieties and my depressions. What I don't refuse to give it into is growth. It's through the word that we manifest everything. The word's not a sound or a written symbol. The word is a force. You need to rethink this. Oh, it's just something I said. Yes. You put energy, force into the universe every time you do or say something. That's why gossip's so disastrous. We don't even understand how sick gossip is. Gossip leads to terrorism. People are massacred in mass. Started with the gossip. Started with talking about them behind their back. Started with not understanding, not started communicating impeccably with them. Figure out the issue and fix it. People die. And then we say, oh, it's just someone on the other side. You're killing your own spirit with every word that you use that's talking against somebody. Goodbye, soul. Why don't you just vomit it up on the fence post? We were taught it's okay. My parents sat there and they talked to the TV, gossiped about stars, Hollywood movie people, They didn't know him from nothing. Oh, you know that Rock Hudson, he was a gay guy. Why are we gossiping about people in my living room that we don't know? Why are we talking about the priest? We're talking about the lady across the street. Gossip. Why did my mom get together with 4 ladies 2 or 3 times a week? They did this back in the 70s, it was real. They'd go sit down and have coffee at one of the ladies' houses. And what did they talk about? How wonderful my kid is? No. They were gossiping. What do you think it taught the kids in the neighborhood? We grew up listening to it. Judgment. Well, my dad, who's the meanest man that ever lived, that wasn't fair. I gotta fix that. Who's an incredibly strict man, would not gossip to save his life. The guys at a job site, they'd gather up in a garage and we'd be break out your lunch pails. Dad would take us, my brother and myself, to job sites during the summer. We always worked during the summer. Worked with my dad at construction job sites. Men would gather up in the garage at lunch break. They'd break open their lunch pails, and then they'd start what men do. They start telling dirty jokes, locker room jokes, and they start gossiping. First dirty joke or first gossip that came out in a garage. And my dad's sitting there and he's got his 2 boys with him. That's it, boys, let's go. He'd gather us up and usher us out of the garage as fast as you could see your head spin. Because we're going to eat over here on the log. But can't we eat with the rest of the guy? Nope. He wouldn't even have to tell us why. I look back and I'm like, my dad wouldn't even come close. I never heard him say one woo-woo about a lady, about another, nothing. Gossiping. My dad knew he couldn't let his kids learn how to gossip. He didn't realize he was already doing it watching TV in other ways, but overtly. And I thank him for that. There's so much power in the words that those little boys would have been hearing in that garage. And 95% of it, if it wasn't well intended, it wasn't going to help the little boys in the garage very much. There's so much power in our words. If we can't come from a perspective of understanding that, we have to back up. Do you know how much power you have? All you have to do is say something nice and you can make another human being smile. They can spend the rest, you can turn somebody's frown upside down by a simple word. You have the power over their emotions. You have the power over their physical responses. I can get you to give me a hug or try to punch me. Just using words. Unbelievable power that we have. There's a scripture in the Bible. I don't like doing a lot of scriptures here, but it's a phenomenal scripture. Talks about our tongue. Paul had the same idea as is being taught here in this book. The power of our word. He used, instead of using the word word, he used the word tongue. Tongue. There's power in our tongue. The things that we say. And you know what he used? He gave us an analogy. It takes a match, one match, to start a complete firefight, a forest fire. Could burn the whole state of California down with one match. And he said, our tongue is a flame. Our tongue is a flame. It's one tiny spark. I can have a divorce by the end of the week. Or there could be healing, complete healing beginning in our home. I can keep my kid heading towards the rehab because he's using drugs, or just changing the power of my word. I can rescue my kid. You have power to express and communicate. You have power to think. And therefore, you have the power to create these events that will happen in your life. You have that power. What other animal on the planet can speak? You know how unique what we do, or what we have is? What other animal? I'm not talking about communicate interspecies. What other animal has the power to create with their word? The word is the most powerful tool you have as a human. It's the tool of magic. But like a sword with two edges, your word can create beautiful dream, or you can destroy everything around you. Forest fire heads. Anybody ever created a forest fire in their life with their little match? My match has gotten me fired. I've lost jobs with my match. I've destroyed relationships with my match. You know what else I've done with my match? You know what else I've done with my match, you guys? Started new lives. Breathed energy into new lives, ignited new fires. Not fires that are burning things down, but fires that are burning things up. Like your old programs. That's another thing we get to do with our match. We can burn up those old programs by the power of our word. The other edge. The other edge has impeccability. The impeccable side of our word can only create beauty and love and heaven on earth. It depends on how we use it. The word can set you free, like we try to be here today. Or it can enslave you, as you call yourself every name in the book, and you live with all your mental health problems that Many are solvable. You just keep using those words to keep you there. All the magic that you possess comes from your word. All the magic you possess comes from your word. Your word is pure magic. And misuse of your word is negative magic. We'll talk some more tomorrow. We're going to get more into this. I just love it. I'm learning so much personally as we go. Think about it today when you go to use that match. What are you going to do with your match today? I'm getting ready to use it. I'm going to give myself a 10-second ignition time. Is this match being used for gossip and dealing death? Soul death? Or is this match being used to strike a fire of goodness and kindness? You'll know, especially because you're going to start telling yourself the truth a lot more. So let's get... Okay, we've got it. We've got enough people right now. Let's do our giveaway for the end of the show here. Okay? So you guys could go ahead, just for your own sake, guess, but we have the 3 people that are qualified for the spin already. Okay? I'm teasing you with it. The 3 people that are moving forward. Oh no, we need one more. We need one more. Give me one more person. Guess the number between 1 and 50. 1 and 50, go. 1 and 50. You can guess up to 3 at one time. I need one more person for the spin. Give me one more person. Let's go. Give me one more person. Give me 3 numbers between 1 and 50. And one of those should be correct. Okay. I'm looking for somebody to get it correct. Who has this one so they can qualify for the spin? Crystal Watson. Crystal Watson got it. Crystal, you're a good one. Crystal said 24, and sure enough, it was 24. Crystal Watson. Crystal Watson. Okay, so here's the 3 people that are spinning today. Here's the 3 people that are spinning today. We have, Grady. Great unknown, number 1. Grady, you're number 1. Pilar, you're going to be number 2. Pilar. And then Crystal Watson, you're number 3. Here we go. That's a number 1. That's going to be Grady. Great unknown. Well, right now, what's the great unknown right now? Seriously, what's the great unknown? Quick. What's the great unknown? Right this second, we have a great unknown among us. What's the great unknown? Mr. Marmars, you're right. The great unknown. Diskey's got it correct. Hagues, too. The great unknown will about now be known. It is no longer unknown. Look at this guy. That's a freaking quarter ounce. One little fruit. I hope you have a stumpchuncula. We have a bunch of this stuff available. Reach out to us at the site. That's a big chunk. What? Chonka-lonka-lonka. Grady, I love sending this to you. You know why? because you have a moral dilemma. What are you going to do with it? Dare you to grind this up. I dare you. Maybe this summer when things are looking a little bleak. Okay. Higgs have a gas powered. It's heavy, Higgs. Listen. I don't want to keep dropping it because I don't want it to break. Okay, gas powered. It's a lot. If Gypsy Life was here, she would bring her chainsaw. She would bring her chainsaw, and we could get into the inside of that thing. I was going to cut it open, but I'm afraid it's going to crack my scalpel. It would break the scalpel, so I didn't want to do that. Okay. We're going to have more fun this week. Please give me 5 people who said so far we have had fun. We've definitely laughed. We've definitely been learning, and you can feel the love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping me. My day's going to be wonderful. I said it out loud. I'm creating it. Somebody else say that. Create your day. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Same mush time, same mush channel. Jesus Christ and SSW and Mark. And Mr. Marmars and Kobe. Kobe the Kobe Cobalt. And Daniel C. and Gasly. And Kyle. And Penny. She's my girl. And Hemp. Ribbit. And Deb. She's a pearl. And Disky, nice to see you. And Kimberly. Nice to see you too. Ephraim and Calico Kid and Cleany and Higgs. Higgs on hump day. And Green Killer, there's Greenie. And Mike Baraball and David. And Niffy. And Kyle Browning. Niffy, you're right. It's going to be an amazing day. Gather some birthday information and give it to me in another day or two. Thank you too, Kyle Browning. I agree. I agree with you. I love you. Daniel, Michael Allen, and Cobalt and Green Table. And Chad Hamilton, I'm glad you were here. And Mark McDaniel, this is your first live stream? Mark, you're the guy that we have donuts for. Mark McDaniel, come back tomorrow, maybe you'll get another donut. Mark McDonald, boop, donut for Mark. Here we go, Shy and Tony and Slingy and File 13 and Michael Patterson and Chad and Pilar and Herbie One Canerby. And Shy, you're a smart one. Kimberly, the Golden Bolden, Justin, it's okay to be a Med Rosie. Mush, make sure you get your birthday information into Niffy, please, Mushy. I gotta take care of you. Rhizomorpheus, Ephraim, and Maddie, and Mikey, and Mr. Phillips, and Buddy. And Captain Cannabinoid, are you wearing pants? Tell the truth. Crystal Watson, MDK, Calico and Penny, and Slingy, and D. Anderson. And here we go. We're all the way down to Michael Brown. Hi, Mike. Hi, Tiffany. Woz. He's the great Woz. Pilar and Daniel Cunningham and Mike Bada. And Shy and Mark and Tony and Gasly and JC. Clean Grow, Niffy. There you go. See, all those donuts are coming at you, Mark. There you go. Should have showed up sooner. You would have got more donuts. Tony and File 13 and Shy and Niffy and Dave and JC and Dan and Anderson and Herbie and Gassy. Oh, Mark, you're getting donuts like no other. Kimberly and Nerdy and MDK and Jonathan K. Peace out. Cleany and Mike and D. Love you, D. Jackie, meow. Kitty, Ephraim, and Jolie. Hi, Jolie. David, Nerdy, and Mark, and Funny Zenverse. Ace, keep shooting straight, Buckeye. Matt and Mushmouth, thank you. Whiskey, I love whiskey. Grady, free. I love being free, too. Kyle and JC, Mr. Marmars. Shy, Whiskey, Mike, Catzilla, Matt, Woz. Pops has got to go. Peace out. Create kindness.